But you know what? Ironically, at the same time, current contract is going to be up in 2028. So is the Memphis Grizzlies being at FedEx Forum. Because Ja Morant's,
Yeah.
future in Memphis is not the only thing in question. Because right now, Adam Silver, he actually spoke to Chris Mannix at Sports Illustrated, and he let them know that relocation for certain teams is not, it's not out of the question. Let's just put it like that. You know what I'm saying? It's on the table, but it's they're not gonna look away from it. We're here in Vegas. Seattle want to get teams, but the NBA has put in a lot of energy on teams overseas with the Euro League that they want to form. That's a brand new revenue for the league. And hey, I don't know if the owners want to expand the league and dilute the pool even further, especially with the talent as well as with the TV money. So hey, who knows? Ja Morant's contract is going to be up, ironically, the same year that the stadium, FedEx Forum, their lease is up with the Memphis Grizzlies. The Grizzlies also ranked at the bottom in the league in attendance.
Well, I think also from what I've seen, a lot of ESPN journalists, most notably, obviously Stephen A. Smith, he's talked about the danger and the crime of Memphis. So it seems like there's also a media angle on attacking the Memphis Grizzlies or the Memphis city. And obviously, the NBA wants to obviously expand its markets. I could either see them move to Nashville, which I don't know how that work. I know Nashville is just a bigger tourist destination than Memphis. It's not my strong forte. Would I like Memphis Grizzlies to stay? Sure,
I would like
but
them to stay. Because
yeah,
even though I come out of NYC, I believe the NBA should be in every region, because the Memphis Grizzlies, when they had Ja, they were all in and popping. They had a different feel. They brought a different energy and look. When they would
well,
come out the
even the
locker room, they would be dancing. They brought a
yeah.
different energy. That's why I feel like the NBA has to be located in certain areas, because them being located in Memphis, they give people in Alabama access to go to NBA games.
I also liked when Zach Randolph, the Mark Gasol, Mike Conley era. They were fun. Like Memphis produced some fun times in basketball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so every location brings their own flair to the league, and just quickly going to Vegas or just Seattle, I don't know, and leaving Memphis, leaving that whole region just empty. The Grizzlies are not gonna have that same aura that they had with Ja when they were in Memphis. With the dancing, with the music, just the overall culture, the way it is over there. I feel like the league can't forget certain pockets of the country because it brings a different flavor to the NBA.
Obviously, like these are working class cities, bro. So a lot of their economies are tied into these sporting events. This is in New York, bro. People don't go to Memphis for like vacation, or it is in LA, or it is in Miami. It isn't like it is in Vegas. It's a working class city, bro.
But also some of these places that they want to relocate the teams, the cities are very corporate. They're not, what I'm saying? They're not going to bring a certain flair to the NBA like it once had. Like Seattle does deserve a basketball team, don't get me wrong, but Vegas, it's still an unproven market. You know what I'm
It's a
saying?
tourist market, bro.
Yeah,
Like
it's a
summer
tourist
league isn't
market.
popping in Vegas.
You know,
It isn't. Yeah.
yeah, of course, like Vegas is, fun for people to go to, but what kind of energy are they going to bring to the league? Like, are they going to bring their own kind of flair, like how the team was in Memphis? Like, I just don't see it. Same thing for like even like the Oakland Raiders. They went to Vegas, but the Raiders don't even have the same aura like they did when they was in Oakland.
No, hell no.
It's not
Bro,
even
it's like
close.
Memphis, like Vegas only works for like boxing and UFC events if we're keeping it real.
Yeah, I mean that's crazy
Yeah,
that.
I don't know how it worked with the 82 season game of 82 game season of basketball. Like, how does that work? How
Yeah.
often are people actually going to make the drive? Or are people going to attend back to backs? One thing about, I guess you could say, Oklahoma, for example, is people are like, even when Oklahoma's crap, people still attend to those games.
Yeah, they got a loyal fan base. They got a very, very loyal. They didn't even let people sit courtside in the finals with a Pacers jersey. You know what I'm saying? Like they have a different look at their stadium feel. No other stadium in the NBA is like that. With the blue shirts, the way the crowd is going crazy. OKC. Like no other stadium looks like that when you're watching
Bro,
NBA games.
there's not a point where you could hear like a pen drop, bro. It's loud 24
Mm-hmm.
the whole game, the whole 2-3 hour game.
And once again, The Raiders left Oakland with all that branding, that rebel branding, and they went to Vegas, and it's not been the same.
Bro, I'm gonna be
Like, that's
honest.
kind of
Like,
crazy.
same with the Golden State Warriors too, bro. Since they left Oracle, Warriors been like they've been cool, but it's not like that Oracle feeling. I
No,
remember when they
not
won
at
in
all.
2015, bro. When they won 2015, bro, it felt like that stadium just went crazy,
Yeah,
ape shit.
it had a different pop. Today, it's very corporate. You can just see it. Like, it doesn't
Bro,
have.
they
It's
outpriced
not the same
everyone.
energy. It's not the same energy. But imagine
They
if every
outpriced
NBA.
everyone.
But imagine if every NBA team was like that, where the energy was just like as corporate as that. It would. It's not gonna pop out of the television screen the same.
Bro,
It's
you're
just
not
not.
making any organic, fandom. One thing I appreciate about Indiana and the Oklahoma is you saw the fandom of Indiana and Oklahoma. You could use, Toronto as an example. You could use Cleveland as an example. These aren't teams that free agents go to, obviously, but these are teams that are able to build like a ground up, your working class fan base, and they give it all in these games, bro. And I
Facts.
think there's like a beauty to that, bro.
That's a
Honestly
perfect
speaking.
example. The Pacers, yeah. Indiana,
Yeah.
yo. As a New Yorker, when the Knicks go to Indiana, that is a tough place to fucking play. That is
Oh,
a
they
tough
hate y'all
place
since
to
the
win.
90s, bro.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
really tough place to play. Same thing for Utah. Utah
sucks.
Jazz. Their stadium is crazy loud. I don't know if they got a new stadium. Now they didn't get a new stadium yet. I think they renovated it. But that stadium is crazy loud. And once again, I just think Adam Silver has to be careful with chasing the corporate dollars too much by relocation. The only team I would say that probably needs to relocate because there's just no aura. There's just nothing, no
New
culture,
Orleans.
is the Pelicans. Yep, and the Pelicans are a team where I believe their stadium, they're also coming for contract renewal. And I think the NBA should strongly consider moving that team until they find an expansion owner who's willing to bring a culture down there. Because I believe the owner is the same owner for the
The
Saints.
Saints.
They care
Yeah.
about football more. It's very, very obvious.
Yeah, I think the Pelicans are like what, fifth priority, bro. To be honest with you, like the people care more about the Baton Rouge University, the LSU, than they care about the Pelicans. Even in basketball, they care more about them.
The Pelicans sound like a good idea for the NBA to be located there, but I just think culturally, I just don't think it's a good fit.
Ownership plays a huge role, man.
I don't even think it's that. I just think culturally, it's just the city. Sometimes the city sounds like a good idea, but culturally, they're just not on the team like that.
Because you tried with Chris Paul, you tried with Anthony Davis, you tried with Zion Williamson.
Yeah, it just doesn't work.
That team with that city, because Anthony Davis was not treated like as a big deal at all in New Orleans.
Not at all. But Adam Silver, they got plans with the international basketball.
I'm not a fan of the European idea, bro. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not a fan.
I understand it. I think it's genius. For money wise, it's genius because the European leagues, they do not know how to monetize like that. They need the NBA's help. They need the NBA's help. They do not know how to commercialize their sport. Their sport is too. There's just no flair to it. Like you could tell. Some of their most popular teams are struggling financially. That tells you everything you need to know.
I get the NBA wants to bail them out, bro, but I don't know. I'm not a fan of incorporating them.
Not bail them out, to show them how to make their league an entertainment product.
Bro, but let's be honest, bro. Players don't go to Toronto. I doubt they're gonna go to France. They're gonna go to Germany to play basketball, bro. If they're not going to a different country up north, I doubt they're gonna go up to Europe to play basketball or Israel or
no. It's not about the NBA players. It's about what I think the NBA is really doing. They're establishing a foothold there because low key they want to make a pipeline to get into the NBA through Europe, because it's not only about the professional teams, it's about the club teams underneath. So what happens when the NBA establishes, let's say, a 12-team league, and all 12 of those teams have a youth 17, a youth 14, a youth 13. Once they start having those teams, You know how many American kids are gonna go over there, go to school, 5 days a week, practice all week, play one game a week, and just do training, and then that league has NBA connections, and they could easily get into the league. It's an easier path for the NBA to actually train the players that they want them trained a certain way, because it translates into the NBA. They don't want a bunch of LaMelo balls coming from AAU. They don't want that. They don't want they don't want a bunch of Jonathan Kumingas taking 7 years to kind of get into a professional basketball flow and just get that AAU system out of get that AAU system out of them. Same thing for Jalen Green. They don't want that type of talent coming into the league relentlessly. It's unpolished.
Bro, but I'm saying, how do you incorporate that into an 82 game system, like 82 game per season system, bro?
What do you mean? These kids are gonna start having options to get into the NBA by declaring that they're professional.
You're talking about like integrating Europe into the NBA, right?
No, it's not integrating Europe. It's a pipeline to give kids in America. Hold on,
like NCAA or it's
let me finish. It's a pipeline to make American kids professionalize. If they're good at age 9, 10, 11, 12, they can go over there and they'll play for the semi-pro teams underneath the professional teams. And if they're like Luka and they're really good, they'll get promoted. They don't get promoted based off of age. They get promoted based off of skill. It's a difference. And then by the time they come into the NBA, they've been a professional since they've been 9, 10 years old, just like Luka. That's what they're looking to do.
So I guess you're saying a transfer program.
It's not a transfer program. It's just an option for the NBA to have a different pipeline, because what's coming out of the NCAA, the one and done, and also the AAU circuit, it's just not working, bro. It's just not translating fast enough. It's not translating fast enough. Like, these guys have way more raw talent, but it's just very unpolished, man. It takes 7 years to just acclimate them into the NBA system. It's too long. The pipeline's fucked up.
I saw Silver trying to make it like into FIFA, and I'm like, bro, this shit's not gonna work, bro. Like,
no, he's not trying to make it into FIFA. I think what it is, it's a different revenue. It could show Europe how to commercialize, and it's also good for streaming, because if they build a good enough European product, they can sell it for streaming, and they could also eventually integrate it with the NBA, do like an in-season tournament where it's like different leagues just for like a week. They could do a cross promotion. Cool. Yeah, they could do a cross, and then when they do a cross promotion, they could also do a cross promotion for the youth teams. Now you could see the American kid that's super nice. He's been a pro since he's been 9 years old, and he's just like Luka. He's 17 years old, but he's playing with the professional team. And then by the time he comes back to America, he's nice as fuck. He's been a pro for years. Like, to me, this is a better option than all those AAU private teams where parents are like paying their way for their kids to get on certain teams. Kids are flying here and there. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. That's why all your MVPs have been European, because it's not like they're better. They have a better youth system than the American kids.
Bro, they have a better basketball foundation than American kids now.
It's not the American kids' fault. It's the system that they're in.
Of course, bro. It's your teacher's fault why you failed the test, right? At the end of the day. It's like that,
Not really. It's the culture. If you go home, your parents don't care if you do your homework. It's the culture. It's the same thing with American basketball. The culture is, if you're a kid, you're super nice, an AAU team is going to fly you out to play here. Then the rules are different. The shot clock is different. There might not even be a shot clock. The hoop height is different. Meanwhile, the European kid like Luka is playing under one hoop size. 1 week he's learning how to post up. The next month he's spending a whole month on passing. And then by the time and then he keeps getting promoted based off of his skill, not his age. Meanwhile, you have 15-year-old kids that are 6'5" playing against 15-year-olds. Meanwhile, he could be playing against 18-year-olds. You see the difference?
Yeah.
It's a major difference, man. Like, Adam Silver is actually starting to. It's a very slow process because it's gonna happen very gradually. But the NCAA, people think that they got stripped of talent now with the NIL. It's even gonna be worse once Adam Silver gets this shit going in Europe. and you have these kids going pro at age 9, 10, 11 years old. They don't have to worry about going to this shitty AAU that was created by some dad that's trying to live out his glory days. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
there,
or dreams of
yeah,
making the NBA.
yeah, or the politics of a Nike camp versus, you know, a Nike player can't play an Adidas player. You know what I'm saying? There's too much of that politics, man. Like, it's the American youth basketball system is really, it's really all over the place, man, to be honest with you. It's all
Yeah,
over
I
the
mean, do you
place.
see it with the NBA's? Like, you see that with the drafts and the younger like players coming in. The Europeans, they come in more polished and more developed, and a lot more of a maturity. If you see, like, they're able to carry themselves a lot better in terms of media presence and everything.
Hmm.
Where I think Americans, they kind of had a hard time of that thus far.